that accountability is back. Does that not apply to you?
As I said at the time, Congressman, there were no names, targets, locations, units, routes, sources, methods, no classified information.
Okay, so if it comes back that it is classified, will you take accountability or not? We've already established, you've already admitted that it was classified because everything you get from CENTCOM is classified. You just explained that to me. That's how you justified not answering the question.
Not what I said. I didn't confirm any classification or
Okay, so if it is
what
confirmed,
I know is that
will you take
everything
accountability?
I share, everything I talk about,
Mr. Secretary, does accountability apply to you or not?
Is classified whether I talk or not.
Does it apply to you or not?
Does what apply to me or not?
Accountability. You said accountability is back at the Secretary.
And you know what? The Houthis were held accountable for shooting at our
I'm just asking if it applies to you.
Very successfully.
I'm not asking about the
previous
Houthis.
administration let our ships get shot at, and nothing was done about it. And thankfully, because of the skill and courage of our troops on the battlefield,
asking about
we
I
actually
reclaim my
put
time.
them in a place
I
where
reclaim
they
my time.
called for a ceasefire.
I reclaim my time. I'm just asking if accountability applies to you. It's a very simple question. We use leadership by example.
Of course. Unlike,
Oh, man, America. I'm sorry, but this hearing right here, this is exactly why people are losing patience with Washington. You got a defense secretary sitting in Congress getting asked one simple question and somehow giving every answer except the one people actually want to hear. And the second Seth Moulton hit Pete Hegseth with, "Does accountability apply to you too?" Whew, you could literally feel the whole room tighten up. I'm Deborah. Welcome back to Blue Voice. Tonight, we're breaking down the exact moment a Democratic congressman completely wiped the confidence off Pete Hegseth's face during a heated hearing about classified military information, Pentagon rules, taxpayer money, and government accountability. So before we dive in, hit that like button, subscribe, share this video, and leave your thoughts in the comments, because Washington needs to hear ordinary Americans too. All right, let's get into this.
When you texted the launch time for F-18s going into combat over enemy territory facing anti-aircraft missiles on an unclassified signal chat, did that launch time come from Central Command, yes or no?
I know what you're referring to, and there were no
It's a very simple question. Did it come from? It's a very simple question. Did it come from Central Command?
Well, in this committee, no way in which I communicate or what I communicate on a successful strike is something that I would share.
So you can't even identify the combatant command under which this operation occurred?
Well, everybody knows the
Okay, so everyone knows the Central Command. So when Central Command sent you this information, did they send it on a classified system or an unclassified system?
Well, as you know, having served yourself, any way that the Secretary of Defense communicates or provides information in and of itself is classified and not to be discussed.
So what was the classification marking of the launch time when it was sent to you? Because DoD regulations require information on classified systems to be marked.
What was the classification mark time?
Yeah. What was the classification marking? Because
again, classifications of any information in an ongoing operation that was successful are not things that would be disclosed in a public forum.
You can very well disclose whether or not it was classified. It's not classified to disclose whether or not it was classified. And in fact, DoD regulations state that any classified information has to be labeled with its classification. Was it classified secret or top secret?
What's not classified is that it was an incredibly successful mission against the Houthis.
Okay, so it was classified. So are you trying to say that the information was unclassified?
I'm not trying to say
that's what
anything.
I thought. You're not saying that. So you took classified information from Central Command that had a classification marking on it, because that's what's required by DoD regulations, and you put it on an unclassified system. So we're going to get a report in a few days from the DoD Inspector General. And if the DoD Inspector General finds what is pretty obvious, both to you smiling there in the witness seat and to all of us up here, that the information was, in fact, classified, do you plan to take any accountability for that?
As I pointed out at the time...
you said that accountability is back. Does that not apply to you?
As I said at the time, Congressman, there were no names, targets, locations, units, routes, sources, methods, no classified information.
Okay, so if it comes back that it is classified, will you take accountability or not? We've already established, you've already admitted that it was classified because everything you get from CENTCOM is classified. You just explained that to me. That's how you justified not answering the question.
Not what I said. I didn't didn't confirm any classification or
Okay, so if it is
what
confirmed,
I know is that
will you take
everything I
accountability?
share, everything I talk about,
Mr.
as
Secretary, does
of Defense,
accountability apply to you or not?
is classified whether I talk or not.
Does it apply to you or not?
Does what apply to me or not?
Accountability. You said accountability is back at the Secretary. At the
And you know
Pentagon.
what? The Houthis were held accountable for shooting at our
I'm
ship
just asking if it applies
very
to you.
successfully.
I'm not asking about the
previous
Houthis.
administration let our ships get shot at, and nothing was done about it. And thankfully, because of the skill and courage of our troops on
I'm
the
just
battlefield,
asking about
we
I
actually
reclaim my
put them
time.
in a place
I
where
reclaim
they
my time.
called for a ceasefire.
I claim my time. I'm just asking if accountability applies to you. It's a very simple question. We use leadership by example.
Of course. Unlike, I serve at the pleasure of the president like everybody else does.
So it only applies to the president, not to you.
I serve at the pleasure.
You talked about the success of the Houthi operation. About how much money did it cost? How much money did you spend on missiles shooting at the Houthis?
Well, you'd have to compare that with what it cost.
I'm just asking how much did it cost?
Divert our shipping lanes around.
I'm told it's several $100 million, maybe close to $1 billion. How many U.S.-flagged commercial ships have transited the Red Sea since your so-called successful operation?
Well, thankfully, unlike the previous administration,
The answer is zero.
military vessels transit.
No, I didn't ask
just
about
this
military
week.
vessels. I
Well, which
asked
would
about
be the
commercial
precursor
vessels.
for
How many
civilian and
commercial vessels?
transit,
It's been several
thankfully.
weeks. How many commercial vessels, U.S. flagged, have
Well,
transited the
would
Red
you, Mr. Congressman, put civilian ships
The
through
questions
dam
are not to
for
me,
military
Mr.
ships?
Secretary,
So
they're to you.
We have responsibly put military
The answer is
ships
zero.
through first.
I reclaim my time. How many generals and admirals have you fired?
I don't know the exact number, but
You don't know the number. It's 8. Can you explain why any of them were fired? Like, just explain why was the Army JAG fired? Why did you fire him?
they all serve at the pleasure of the president. And I think
No, I'm just asking you why.
General Kane is a great example.
I'm just asking
of a
you
leader
why.
That we
I
need
think you
at
probably
this
learned
time.
at Princeton what why means. Why did you fire him?
They serve at the pleasure of the president, and we
Why
want better
did you
representation
fire
in
him?
each and every of those.
You can't
each and
explain
every
why
one
you
of those
fired any of
places.
them?
All right, now let's really talk about what happened here because this story is much bigger than Democrats versus Republicans. This hearing touched on something Americans have been feeling for years now, the fear that powerful people play by different rules than everybody else. Now, to understand why this exchange became so explosive online, you gotta understand the background. The United States has been dealing with attacks from the Houthis in the Red Sea region. That area matters because it controls major global shipping routes. Oil, cargo, international trade, all of that passes through there. So yes, military operations in that region are serious. Nobody serious is denying that. And Pete Hegseth clearly wanted the hearing focused on one thing. The mission succeeded. But Seth Moulton kept dragging the conversation back to another issue, how sensitive military information was handled. That's the part that made this hearing uncomfortable, because Moulton was basically asking if operational details about fighter jet launch timing came from Central Command, why were those conversations happening on an unclassified signal chat? Now, for regular Americans watching at home, that may sound technical, but inside military culture, communication rules are extremely strict. Look, in a normal office job, sending information to the wrong group chat might get you an angry email from HR. In military operations, that kind of mistake can become a national security issue. That's why Moulton kept pressing him. And honestly, this is where Hegseth started struggling politically. Every time the questions got sharper, he pivoted back to, the mission was successful, the Houthis were held accountable, operations went well. And look, maybe the operation was successful, but that wasn't the question. It started feeling like somebody getting pulled over for speeding and responding, "Yeah, officer, but did you see how clean my car is?" That's basically how this hearing sounded at certain points. Then came the moment that changed everything. Moulton says, "You said accountability is back. Does accountability apply to you?" Whew. That was the moment, because suddenly this hearing stopped being about military operations and became about leadership itself, and ordinary Americans understood that instantly. People watching this hearing are workers, parents, veterans, small business owners, people who deal with accountability every single day. If regular Americans mishandle information at work, there are consequences. If families make financial mistakes, bills still show up. If employees break company rules, excuses usually don't save them. So viewers were sitting there watching a powerful government official struggle to answer a direct accountability question, and that frustration connected emotionally. And honestly, that's why this clip exploded online. Not because everybody suddenly became Pentagon experts overnight, but because Americans know what it looks like when somebody is trying very hard not to answer something directly. And the more Hegseth avoided the question, the more Seth Moulton looked calm, disciplined, and in control of the room. Soft cough. That contrast is what made this hearing so politically damaging. Man, hearings like this remind people why trust in Washington has become such a huge issue in America. Because at the end of the day, Americans don't expect perfection from leaders, but they do expect honesty and accountability. I'm Deborah, and this is Blue Voice. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you like, subscribe, share this video, and drop your opinion down in the comments because your voice matters here too. All right, y'all, I'll see you in the next one.